Welcome to Bondi! Welcome to Bondi. It's one of the world's most famous beaches, and even though there's heaps to do, we are going to do that on a different day. Today, we're going to walk from Bondi down to Coogee. This is one of the most beautiful scenic walks. It'll take you about 2 to 3 hours, and so we're going to go and get started and see some beautiful coastline along the way. Come and join us. All right, now Bondi is an absolute pain to get to, and so that's why we arrive on scooter. Heaps of motorcycle parking. It's actually fantastic. So if you don't have a scooter, not as cool as us, I know not everyone can be, you have a couple options. Actually, you don't. You're gonna be taking the bus or an Uber because see, here in the eastern suburbs, the train lines don't come this far. They come to Bondi Junction, and from there, it would probably be like, I don't know, a 2-kilometer walk to the beach. Best bet is to take some kind of a bus situation. There are quite a few. But yeah, that's what you're looking at if you want to get to Bondi. Every good walk starts with a bit of fuel, and so we are going to pop into one of my favorite cafes for a big hearty breakfast before we get started. We're here at Locks, Stock and Barrel. Get it? Locks, like, you know, like the salmon. So, just letting you know, setting the scene, bagels are really hard to find in Australia, and so this place is after my own heart. They make all of their bagels themselves. Oh God, okay, sorry. So this is the Seed and Choices bagel, and it's delicious. And this is a Reuben. They cure the meat. They make the pickles. I'm a pickle fanatic, as you may know from other pickle-related adventures. And on their bookshelves, they have a bunch of books about pickling. Check this one out, the Japanese art of pickling. So while we were waiting, a heck of a long time for our food, I'll have you know, because this is trendy and hopping. I read the book about Japanese pickling. Maddie was reading her Harry Potter book. Maddie's got a French toast. I am going to go into this Reuben with sauerkraut. Sorry, check it. We're just going to harp on this. And homemade pickle. Pickle vibes.
Eat it. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, silverware. Okay, so we come to this place a lot. It's like whenever we come to Bondi, we come here. Recommended by a friend who lives here because I was wanting bagels and she was like, oh, you should try Locks, Stock and Bagel.
It's actually Lock, Stock and Barrel.
It's Lock, Stock, shoot, sorry. You're right, it is. Lock, Stock and Barrel. This place, let's just chat about like life in Australia in winter. So we're recording this on a holiday. It's in June, it's the King's birthday, except it's not the King's birthday. The holiday started, I don't even know whose birthday it was, but it was the Queen's birthday and Victoria. Was it Queen Victoria? Yeah, we're celebrating some Queen's birthday, but now we call it the King's birthday, even though it's no one's birthday. Anyway, we have a Monday off. That's the long story. So we come for the beach vibes. This place is packed. There's no heating. We're all here like wearing our jumpers inside. People are sitting outside with the heaters on. Oh, the bottom's a little bit of sauce, but oh. I'm really good. How's yours? Solid. I mean, I feel like I'm getting what we came here for. It's the Reuben. They also have an avocado bagel and like a salmon and lox bagel. Obs also need that. It's so good.
I got a Coogee here.
And definitely how we're kicking off our day is next. And I have some kind of, sorry, not mess. I have kind of a What is this? I think it's like homemade relish. Spicy?
It looks spicy.
It is spicy. It's kind of gingery.
No, thank you.
It's all right. Spin you around a sec so you can look at the walls. They also sell all of their homemade like sauces and things like that. So delicious. Now, one of the things we love doing in Bondi, actually, I guess technically isn't in Bondi, it's the coastal walk. So this goes from Bondi down to Coogee, and it passes some of the most beautiful real estate in Australia. So we've gotten started. It's super easy. All you have to do is follow the signs, get prepared for some stairs because there are a lot of them, but you'll go by some of the most stunning views, and we're going to show you a few of our favorites along the way. So the Bondi to Coogee Coastal Walk kicks things off at the world famous Icebergs pool. Have a look. So this pool is super famous for its ocean views, and the cool thing is that it's actually a publicly available pool. So you pay something like 10 bucks, you can go in, you can use the facilities for a day, which includes the sauna as well. It's really lovely. Not a lot of people know that this is something that you can actually dunk into without a membership. All along the coast, you'll see these beautiful sandstone formations, and this cave is a great example. And so up close, you can see the color variations and the various formations that water and wind have created over time. Absolutely stunning. And so if you watched our Manly video, you'll know that we love climbing on rocks. Australia is full of rocks. And so here are a few safety tips. 1, look for the places where you're allowed to climb down. It's pretty easy to tell. There will be steps. There will be other things. 2, just be aware of the tide levels. So here, you can probably tell where I'm standing. The rocks aren't wet, there isn't a lot of standing water. I'm watching the tide. It's pretty unlikely that we're going to get swept away. You can see there aren't really big waves out on the water, and although you don't always want to do what everyone else is doing, the fact that there's heaps of people running around on the rocks is a pretty good indication. Always watch your step. So what kinds of things can you see on these rocks? It really depends where you are, but here in winter at Bondi, look here. This is my finger, and these are tiny little snails. So you can tell by there being snails up here and there being little water pools that the tide will come up this high sometimes. It doesn't mean every high tide. It just means that once in a while it'll happen to keep these little guys wet and happy. And then there are these larger ones. I call them periwinkles. I don't know what they're really called. Up here, you'll also see little crabs scurrying around. We'll be on the lookout. Okay, so I would never tell you to eat something off the ground, especially if you aren't able to identify it. But for those who know, this is warrigal green. Okay, so this plant grows all along Australia's coastlines, and it's basically like indigenous spinach. It's native to Australia. It's toxic to eat raw, but if you cook it, it does taste a lot like spinach. And so you'll see this growing all along the coastline. And this is just one of the foods that Indigenous Australians would have eaten alongside oysters and fish and crabs and all kinds of other foods, kangaroo, that are native to Australia. Veggies too. Okay, so here we are at Waverley Cemetery. We're just south of Bondi, and you'll notice, as is really common in Australia, that the Indigenous countries that we're on are listed. And so here in Bondi, we're actually on Bidjigal, Biribagal, and Gadigal country. So Gadigal is where the Sydney CBD is, and Bidjigal and Biribagal are more towards the eastern suburbs. And so here, this is an area where the different tribes would have shared a bit of land, and it overlaps a little bit. And we are going to go exploring this gorgeous cemetery that is right on the water. So here at Waverley, you will see some quite old tombstones. I mean, this is just a random one, 1892, and you can tell they're kind of in whatever state of repair they're in. But that's alongside some of these newer tombstones. So here we go, 2000. And what's really lovely is you'll see people of all nationalities buried here. And so walking along, what's this? I mean, 1846, so beautiful. Around 1943, and you can see also whole families would be buried in these stones. So here is a mom, the husband, a baby, all inside the same one. And this is super common in Australia to have these burial grounds that are sort of raised up a bit. I believe it has to do with the water level. We are right next to the ocean, but it's super common to see in Australia these tombstones that are sort of elevated a little bit off, and you'll sometimes even see a fence around them. And so alongside the, I guess you'd call them traditional tombstones that stick up out of the ground, you have these more, what I think of as European style mausoleums. So these are vaults, there's a famous one in Buenos Aires that has, it just looks like a miniature city with all these tiny little mausoleums. And I think families could traditionally go inside them, spend time. Whole families would be buried inside, and these are some really beautiful ones. So the Waverley Cemetery has a number of famous people. Fanny Durick, who is an Olympian, Archibald, who started the Archibald Portrait Prize and built the fountain in Hyde Park, Victor Trumper, the cricketer, Edward Burton, the first Prime Minister of Australia. And listen, I looked at the interactive map and I can't find any of them. There's street names, but no street signs. So here we are. Let's just appreciate instead Charles Owen Part, world champion high diver who was accidentally killed in the circus. Poor guy. Okay, so we're here at Gordon's Bay. The weather's taken a little bit of a turn, it's gotten cloudy, but I promise you these waters are turquoise and gorgeous like all the other waters we've been seeing today. So what's really cool about Gordon's Bay is that it's actually an underwater aquatic reserve. So if you're a snorkeler or a diver, there's a trail underneath the water that's a route that you can follow. So just like we have above the ground coastal routes, this is a below the water nature reserve. You can see all kinds of fish, seahorses, really cool stuff if you follow the underwater trail. So we're not doing that today, it's a bit cold, but it's something you should consider doing. Coogee! So we have finished walking from Bondi to Coogee. On the way, we stopped by Tamarama, Bronte, Gordon's Bay, Waverley, and we're at Coogee. You can keep walking, but honestly, I recommend you just stop at Coogee because it's kind of it gets a bit neighborhoody. Yeah, we've done it down to Maruga before, but I just stop here. So when you get to Waverley, there's lots to eat. It's a regular like beachside sort of town. Maddie got a smoothie, and every Australian town has fish and chips. Oh, am I up like that? I don't know. Every town has
The princess.
fish and chips. So it's chilly today. We're actually in the middle of winter, and so there's really nothing but Scotch chips by the beach after a really long walk.
Something funny. This place is called Shish and Phipps.
Shish and Phipps. Why is it called that? I don't even know.
Shish. But they're good all the same.
They're good. I'm gonna grab my coffee.
Okay.
That's me.
Off she goes.
Pro tip. If you're planning your day, almost all Australian cafes close at like 3 p.m. So if you do a walk and you want to have a coffee, like I do with my Shish and Phipps and the small, that you gotta do it before 3. So you're out. It's like 2:40. Now, once you've arrived at Coogee, you can walk back. We've done that before, but on this particular occasion, we hopped on a bus, the 362, to get a lift back to Bondi Beach. As I mentioned earlier, there aren't a lot of transit options in the eastern suburbs. If you took the bus to Bondi Beach, of course, you don't have to worry about taking a bus to get back. You can go straight from Coogee to Central or to wherever you started from. I hope you enjoyed this walk today. We had a lot of fun, even though the weather turned a bit on us at the end. These coastal walks are absolutely beautiful. If you like doing this sort of thing, I hope you subscribe to this channel. Watch a couple of other videos. The Manly one in particular is one I think you are going to love, and stay tuned because there are more coming.